Hi there, welcome to Ulai Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore. Today, I like to sing my own name. Yes, my name is Lenore, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, let's get going. It has been a silly morning for me. Thankfully, I'm actually thankful. I was worried it was going to be another anxious day, but not so much. So we're a little silly today. Still in mourning, but silly. So let's begin. I want to look at the numbers first. We have the number 678. Okay, 678. And to me, I'm not going to say it. I'm so tempted. Listen, I'm around kids constantly. So we know with the 6 and the 7 and I'm not going to do it to you. But 6, 7, 8. So like leading up. We're leading up. We're almost there. Right? We're getting on. We're getting on in the parade towards. And honestly, as I turn this, I saw the deer. I feel like you are intentionally building up for a maybe planned spiritual ceremony, ritual activity. This might be something like a meditation retreat. You might be using plant medicine. You might be doing like a prolonged fast or I don't know. Maybe you're starting to learn like a new divination. You are taking class. Something, right? You've been working towards this. Now, it feels like we are right on the cusp. Okay. And what is sneaking in? Besides excitement, I think you're very excited, but I think that there's also those little moments of doubt. Now, we talk about this a lot on the channel in my readings because I feel like this is one of the real the points in which a lot of people end their career in magic, the occult, certain spiritual systems. Because some people do, of course, but often you don't really get a practical idea of what living a magical life might be like, right? Or what it is to really experience ritual or ceremony or having a prophetic moment or, we look to a lot of accounts of these very ostentatious, very detailed, very, a flash of light and something in the corner of the room is talking to you, and it's very fantastical often, not always, right? When a lot of it is stuff that's happening in the mundane, a lot of it is stuff. I am a firm believer that when I am in a cycle of doing ritual, which is almost always, but when I'm setting up like a really intentional ceremony, ritual, right now I'm in between major operations in my magical life, about to begin a new one. I truly believe and anecdotally have experienced myself that a lot of the stuff is happening on the outside of the circle, so to speak, right? Where something has been marked off, has been symbolically created and opened or closed or whatever, however you do your ritual in whatever form. I am obviously talking about high magic or ceremonial magic where people use, different shapes and stuff to as like a base or a protective place to do the magic, right? So basically, outside of that circle, things happening before, like the magic intentionally starts, right? Although it can be argued it's intentional throughout, but so you're starting to see the flickers of the thing, right? Whatever this is, whatever it is that you're coming into. I feel like in this space, especially on the front side of it, but also on the back, right? Because when we finish our work, there's a tendency to rationalize, which isn't a bad thing, but we can become dismissive, okay? We can poo-poo some of the things because, this, that, or the other. Sometimes they don't need to be thought about more than just the experience of and the impression of, right? But so what I feel like is happening here, you are intentionally walking into, whatever this is that you have going on. You are starting to have these moments of clouding, of maybe like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I really believe in this. I don't know, if this is worth my time or whatever. Now, let me be clear. If you feel deeply, this is not right for me, I'm going in the wrong direction, that's, clear. But the doubts, the little sneaking things, that's on purpose. That's on purpose. This is where a lot of us flunk out of the magical life because it doesn't feel real enough. It feels like it's role playing. You might think you're crazy. I'm starting to feel crazy. The things I'm doing, I've been told my whole life, are what crazy people do. A good one I've been talking about in the readings here. Talking to yourself out loud. Doing your mantras out loud. Walking around. Lately, I have been doing my mantras. Two of them. One of them, I'll tell you, has just been, I love you. So I'm walking around the house saying I love you about, 727 times a day. Out loud. By myself. You know what I mean? You feel me? And with people around too. I got to get it in. No, I'm like trying to meet my quota. Kind of low key. But sometimes, you hit these walls, you're like, dude, like, am I, is this, it's all on purpose. Again, I will say that there are definitely 100%, it's like religious psychosis or magical thinking becomes, this like obsessive thing. People and practices within your spiritual work can really easily turn into like limerence, which not necessarily a bad thing, but right, you can become out of control, unwound. You become the mad man, right? But it's, in a lighter sense, it is a like a built-in mechanism to keep people out of the inner temple, to be led astray, to be distracted, okay? And it's not easy to assimilate these ideas into your practical living and live in a way that doesn't feel totally out of step with everybody else. I mean, that's hard for people too. It's very alienating. So I feel in this, a lot of this kind of anxiety, which I am very, still, there are days where I feel very, insecure about the fact that I do divination, that I openly practice magic, and whatever that means. I feel like, like, I think, what must people think? I think of people that, like, I used to know, and I'm sure people that you remember me from growing up are, like, not surprised at all. But you know what I mean? Like, there are people who became serious people, and got on, and, all that. And, like, respectable people who I do respect. But, like, I wonder, like, oh, there's crazy Lenore over there. But it's all built-in mechanisms. We hurt our own feelings. We destroy our own hearts. We, kill our own dreams, babe. Who cares? Who cares if it's real? I mean, if you don't like doing it and it's like whack, which sometimes it is. Sometimes it feels whack. It's like, dude, that is a lot to put on my plate on top of everything else. Whack. It doesn't hit the same way. Like for me, I'm not super into doing like actual ceremonial magic in the way that it's like presented. If you look up Gnostic Mass or whatever, those kinds of, I'm not into it. To me, the whole time I feel so like it puts me so deeply into my body and in this Malkuthian place. Like, it feels weird. And it always feels like you're in either somebody's weird basement or like those cable access channel sets. That's what I always think of. Like, it's like a community theater. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of anybody else's work. I'm laughing at my own, like, panic attacks and anxieties I would have when I was, like, trying to get into, like, I'm like, I'm going to be a ceremonial. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be part of this, I'm going to try it. And no, it was not for me. But, if that's your deal, I have, like, respect. I think it's cool. I wish I could be into that. Absolutely. But, you just got to find your stuff. And that's really, I think you already know, but don't get into your head too much. Don't over intellectualize it, especially when you are coming into the work right there, right? When you have set the thing up and you're getting close to actually like activating or getting into the direct work, the over intellectualizing can be after. It's like writing for some people. Some people, they write and write, and then you go and edit down what you want or whatever. You don't want to be writing, like aiming to write perfectly on your first pass, right? Because it gets in the way of the flow. And so I feel like that's the real emphasis here, is really not being too worried about, like, what is this? What does it look like? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just do the thing. Do it. Whatever it is, go outside, find some pine cones, like do some magic, like whatever. It doesn't have to be in a book. It doesn't have to be something that somebody told you about, or, you saw in a movie, or, it's been written about in ancient times, so it must be legit. Dude, just go make some mud pies, bro. Like that is magic. Somehow, some way, if you believe. So anyways, I feel like this is important, and I've gone on and on about it because I think this is the big thing for you. This is your big, like, in your face thing, is pushing through, those kind of jitters, or, the instinct to be like, well, maybe it's not that important. Maybe it doesn't really mean anything. Maybe it's, just try it. Who cares? And even if it does suck and it isn't like anything, I mean, you tried something, I don't know. I feel like, listen, this is the real magic of the year. Let us not only be completely authentic in our own spaces, but let's add some play into our lives. Like, do this silly thing. Put your hands in the, in the dirt, grab the, I don't even know, just like, whatever it is, do the arts and crafts, like, go buy a thing of popsicles, eat the popsicles, save the things, make some popsicle art. It doesn't have to be with your kid, I feel like we need more play in our life. I don't know, play tag in the parking lot with your, significant, who cares? Like, it just, I don't know. I think it's the only magic that, like, we have, like, complete ability to just, like, that, you change the world immediately. Have you ever, like, had your kids in the car and they're just, I want, they took it, the place I'm talking about. And so you just, like, you're like, that's it, we're going to the park, get out of the car. You pull up, you get out of the car. Immediately, the kids are running towards the gym stuff or whatever. And they're getting ready. They're ramping up to go play, to do the thing, to let out that energy, to, like, whatever, climb stuff, kick stuff, yell at each other, whatever it is. And that's magic. To know how to harness that, ooh. And it seems like, well, that's not really magic. That is magic. You are changing the perception of the universe, the world, in that moment. Now, if you can learn to find those little things through your whole day and your whole life, all of those little adjustments we make, you're a magician. That is magic. You are controlling your universe. Okay? Maybe not all of the variables yet, but you'll get there. Maybe, I don't know. I'm saying it sounds good. I'm saying that. I think so. From what I read anyways, I don't know. But you do. You control the variables on some level, somewhere, supposedly. I'm not that ascended, bro. I'm trying. I'm getting there. Maybe. I don't know. So anyways, we have a dog up here. I keep looking at this dog. It's so cute. Look at right up there. So I feel like we have that dog. We have this little, I don't know, like a little bunny or something with the little ears. And then over here, it looks like we have, I don't know, some other kind of little cutie. I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like it has little glasses and a little smile. I think that you have a little friends group. You have, or access to creating one, right? There are people in your life who want friends or who want to be closer friends. I think that you are a person that usually you're totally cool, just doing your thing. You probably have, like, your little family, or maybe you're chilling at home with your, lovely furry companion or whatever the configuration is. You seem happy, at least content, right? But there are people who you're friendly with. And I think that if you lean into that, you might find something, I think you might find something you didn't know you were looking for. Now, we also have a heart. Where is it? Right there. Heart, the number 9. And this is a cat face. Right here, we have a cat face. You can see the eyes, the nose, the little mouth. Right in here. So again, reiterating, you are a very independent person. You like to do your thing. You like to be your own person. You don't need people. Like, if you're going to something and, like, your friend says, oh, I can't make it, you're still gonna go. Like, you're not worried about doing stuff by yourself. But I think there's something about these two other people that at least one of them is super loyal. The other one just is like a cutie pie, it looks like. But I feel like there's a sense of being refreshed in it, right? Not feeling as isolated in this universe, but, like, in a more casual way. I'm not saying, like, the deepest, most defining relationships of your whole existence, but I think there is a closeness there that you maybe haven't remembered that you need. Okay. All right. Let's see. We're going to look at this. We have the number 4. We have a younger woman. I feel like she has like blonde hair maybe. There seems to be some kind of conflict, but not having to do with you. I think she's coming to you for advice. And it feels just like a barrage of like, like tedium. Just like having to listen to all these things, complaints about people and this and that and da da da. And I feel like it's almost like an act of service for you to sit there and bear witness, right? But I think this is coming to an end to some degree. Not forever, but I think that you're pulling back a little bit, because I think at times when you get stuck in these conversations, and I'm saying stuck because it feels, when I'm thinking about it, it feels like you are like, God, I'm stuck in this. You know, when can I hang up? So I think that there's a little bit of a break coming up. Now, I wonder if they're getting in a relationship. I feel like they're around more when they're not with somebody, and then when they meet somebody, you get a little bit of like a reprieve. And I think that's kind of what's happening here. Okay. All right. Let's do our lucky numbers. Then I'm out of here. Baby. Number 73. Number 73. Number 7. Number 81. All right. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you for being here with me. We will talk in a few days. Please take care of yourselves, and bye.